We're recording.
Okay, welcome. This is the runes class number 2. And in this class, we're going to begin the basic reading. And I went ahead and put on Microsoft Word, I put together a bunch of websites that have a bunch of different more extensive layouts. Just
Nice.
some of them, I mean, like there's an Elder Futhark one that is literally all 24 runes, and they all have different meanings of where they're placed and what. So it gets real fast. So we're just gonna do the basic ones today. But because of their potent power, I would advise you to cleanse your space before doing any reading. You can use incense or sage or a candle in the room, and in the room that you're reading in. And you can open your windows if it's not too cold. If not, that's totally fine. When you have, after you've done that, you can, and some people, this is more of a new, like neo-pagan ritual. They say that it was known, or that it has been said that the Vikings, the Volvas, the healers, the fortune, the future seers, they used white cloth. They would put down white cloth to read the runes. I, for one, have a solid feeling that that is not as true as I would like to believe, just because we're talking about very dirty circumstances, very rugged, ruthless terrain and lifestyles. And it's really hard for me to believe that these Vikings and these Gaelic tribes had this big white cloth that they would only bring out. And how the hell are you going to clean that white cloth when it gets dirty with your rune stones or your pieces of wood or bones and blood? So yeah, so this part, if you want, you can put down a white cloth on your altar or on your table. That is not necessary, and it's not required. Some people feel that is, they like the ritual side, they like the routine and their routine. So if that's you, then at that time you can put your cloth down. If you can face north, this allows you to link your energy to the ancient Norse gods. Spend a moment
Facing north.
North or
what's
facing,
that?
so you're sitting in the south facing north.
Yeah, so I'm gonna move once we get started.
Because I'm facing north right now.
Yeah, I was
Me
gonna
too.
say north is like that. It's like right that way. So
it's that way for me.
and I actually have a chair that I'm going to go and sit in, and it's facing that way right there. So then always be aware of spend a moment to thank the ancient gods and meditate on the powers of the runes. Always be aware of their history and mysticism throughout your readings. So I wanted to put that out there just because runes are a very sacred thing. It's throughout history that is definitely known. that they saw it, many different places saw them as extremely sacred. And a lot of people feared them due to their strength and their abilities. So with that being said, just respect the process, respect the runes, respect the gods, and respect yourself. So, with all of that being said, let me get this slideshow possibly up. Maybe if it's feeling like it wants to work with me. Oh, this guy. Oh, yeah. Oh. And I'm wondering, can you see my runes? It says the runes, reading the runes, Ansuz and Thurisaz.
Yes, and on the left-hand side is the number of slides you have.
Okay, so when I do this, can you see everything?
Just the runes.
You can just see the runes?
Yeah. The picture of reading the
Okay.
runes. Ansuz and
Yes.
Thurisaz.
Perfect. Hey, that sounded good. So we're first gonna go over the two runes that are next in the et, and this would be Thurisaz, just as Andrea kicked ass saying. The letter sound is th. The translation is thorn bush, giants, or the god Thor. If you can see the thorn on the branch, as you know, in the symbol, that's a really easy, good way to remember Thurisaz. And this rune in particular, I'll get into it, but I was always taught you don't want to get Thurisaz. It's like the bringer of bad news, like the bad news bear. So with that being said, keywords are protection, warning, contemplation, decisions, luck. The primary themes is Thurisaz is chiefly concerned with aspects of protection and resistance to danger and unwanted circumstances. The thorn on the branch symbolizes standing in a protective stance rather than rushing to attack an adversary. Getting Thurisaz in a reading usually predicts misfortune and quite literally brings bad news, which is why it is avoided and treated with caution by most scholars. On the other hand, knowing that there may be misfortunes ahead, it will help you be extra mindful of your surroundings and the situation at hand when confronted with it. Don't take the easy path if doing so allows you to skirt responsibility. You must come from a neutral, rational place as a form of protection. Thurisaz represents destruction and chaos. The reversed in divination, and this is pertaining to divination, reading it in divination. Reversed is refusing to allow solid advice that could have helped you avoid a situation you did not want to go through. Be sure to evaluate every part of a situation before making a move. So that is kind of my input on Thurisaz, but it goes so much more in depth. And so I went ahead and, just as I did with Fehu and Uruz last time, I went ahead and wrote out a Microsoft Word doc of all the ins and outs of, you know, because if you're looking at it in the aspect of, you know, different areas of your life, say relationships or jobs, or, you know, in different, in love, death, all of that, it has a different meaning, obviously with every single one. But the basis, the biggest factor with Thurisaz is it is kind of an omen of get ready. Get ready, because either if you choose to continue on this path, or you have already chosen to continue on this path and you've ignored your, you know, your intuition, your guides telling you, the gods telling you, whoever telling you to chill out, to relax, to calm down, and you ignored them, get ready, because Thor and his big ass hammer is coming through. The giants are coming through. So that's what it says. And then we have
Here,
Ansuz.
can we just go back just for 1
Oh,
second
sure.
here?
Yeah,
When
absolutely.
you're talking about the thorn, are you talking about like the two pieces that come from the main stem that meet at each
Yes.
other?
Yes.
Those are the
So,
thorns.
yes. So that, if you look at it, the triangle, that as a whole, I've always seen that as the thorn.
Okay.
So it's not too poking into each other, but I do see that in this picture. I do see what, like, that you can see like where you would see that. But in the runes, like when you draw it out, it's just that P, and the triangle is as a whole, it's the thorn.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any questions on that one?
Is this it? Can you see that?
What?
No,
Wait, let me see.
it's dark. No.
I'm trying to get it to focus, but it won't focus.
Can't see that one.
It's focused, but it has a shadow. It's like dark. Like I can't pick out the
Is
symbol.
that it?
Yep, that's it.
That's better.
That's the one. Yes, and that's reversed. That's upside down. And that is what it looks like upside down. And now my now my computer's, it's like pending. Hold on, please hold. I'm like, wait, why? You were just working. Why are you doing this? Okay, so after that, chaos and destruction, we come to Ansuz. And Ansuz is one of my most favorites. Fehu and Ansuz, you can see are, Fehu is up, Ansuz, the dashes go down. This one in particular, I have always referenced as Odin's rune. And I know a lot of people consider this as Odin's rune as well. The letter sound is A, ah. Translation, a god, ancestral god, sometimes depicted as Odin. Keywords, communication, wisdom, divine power, a message. So the primary themes with Ansuz is the rune of communication in all its forms, but chiefly verbal communication. Whether it involves writing, speaking, or even singing, messages, advice, or new information may be coming from external sources, or you may be asked to pay closer attention to the messages coming from your higher self. Sacred to Odin, Ansuz hints at the potential for prophecies, revelations, and other messages from your allies in the other world. Oh, spelling error. Be open to signals from the universe, such as animal sightings, images in the clouds, numerical messages, and other interesting synchronicities. The reversed is Loki, the god of menace and trickery. So be on guard for trickery and deceit from others or yourself. Be careful with misinterpretations. You may need to go within for a while and reconnect with your higher self if you get Ansuz reversed. So, like I said, that every time I receive Ansuz, I'm like, hello, old friend. I love this rune. It's one of my favorites. All right, so the historical ways of reading the runes. It is said that the Germanic tribes were the first to use runes as a type of alphabetical means of communication. They were said to have used the runes to describe and depict certain events in their lives, struggles, pursuits, and above all else, their stories. At some point in history, the Vikings had traveled to some of these Germanic tribal areas and took this alphabet back home with them and made it their own, which in turn turned out to be the Younger Futhark. This is believed to be where the Norsemen's or Viking runic system began. So this stone that you're looking at is the oldest, first known artifact that they have found with runes on it. And it still stands. I think it's in, I want to say it's in, I don't remember where it's at. I gotta look that up. But this is the stone that I was talking about in the first class that I could not find the picture of it.
Where's
But
this
this,
located at?
what's that?
Where is it located
Oh,
at?
girl. I just said, I'm like, I'm gonna have to look that up because I think I wanted to say Germany, northern Germany, but let me look it up real quick because I don't want to tell you something that is completely incorrect.
Is there a difference between the Eckhart runes and the younger runes? Like, are they
Yes.
different symbols?
No, not particularly. They are shorter. So the younger Futhark doesn't have as many as the elder. And that's and then you've got the branch and the twigs. There's different types of, because some tribes, some areas of the world broke them down all the way to just a line and a dot, or a line and a dash, and made them, simplified them and made them quicker, I guess, so to speak. So the younger Futhark doesn't have as many as the elder Futhark has. And that's, I believe that was just a matter of they you know, as far as binding, as far as creating the terms and the meanings behind what they were writing, they just used the ones that they needed, and all the rest kind of got, you know, sloughed to the side. So that's my interpretation of why they didn't continue on with using all of the elder Futhark. And the reason it's called Futhark, I think I went over this in the last class. The first runes on that stone, the first row of the runes when reading it is Fehu, Uruz, Thurisaz, Ansuz, and Raido. And
So-
that is Futhark in,
So
oh, sorry.
the Rook runestone is in
There
Sweden.
it is. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Is
I-
where?
But there are some other ones that are as old, at least according to research, as old in Norway.
Okay.
Norman.
So there's a couple from before BC.
Oh yeah, that's this one
And
definitely.
then this one is, yeah, but anyway, it's in Östergötland, I think.
That
Is how,
in Germany?
no, that's in it's in Sweden.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you.
In Sweden,
Sweden, okay.
but the tribes there were very, well, I mean, Jordy knows this. They swapped. they did not interbreed. They weren't like some of Egypt's tribes that stayed very close. They didn't. They would raid each other and get new blood. Was
Mhm.
that politely put?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
But they also did a lot of trading, and with it being in that the route, so to speak, the oceanic route, that would make sense as far as to, you know, the Vikings and all other tribes and, you know, countries moving in and pushing in and going in and out and trades and all of that. So yeah, the swapping the swapping was plentiful back then.
And I'm sure it wasn't always women, because the oldest in Norway, the oldest warrior that they found buried with her boat, they did not know, and they assumed it was a man for the last however hundreds of years. Turns out to be a woman.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
there was a lot of that that
sorry, honey.
yeah, we'll talk about that after the recording. Just because there's a lot of and that's again, it goes back to the we don't know, you know, anything other than what we continue to find even every day up to now, just like you just said, Tanya. That kind of thing, we would have never known about any of that because none of their history, none of their lifestyles or anything was written down, even with the runes. There are some places that have, you know, runic transcriptions, but for the most part, it's all just kind of what we think, based off of what we have found in burial sites and, you know, what they were buried with and what their villages look like now that we've you know, explored those areas, and also word of mouth coming down generation to generation. So it's difficult to know what it was like, but that definitely is a factor that they were not concerned with sexual preferences and what are you, you know, which way do you swing? Like that wasn't a concern for them. I was like, it's a free for all, who cares? So ways to read the runes in divination practices. There are hundreds of thousands of ways to read runes, but here are a few common ways to use them in Mancy or divination work to help you begin your journey. So the basic methods. Method 1, with your runes in their pouch, you can close your eyes, concentrate on what you want, and answer for whether it's past situation, present situation, or future situation, and choose one rune from the bag as your answer. Method 2 would be gently toss the runes from the bag onto a soft surface and the runes while thinking of what you want an answer for. Soft surface and the runes. Sorry, I wrote this part very quickly. Gently toss the rune. Hold on. Onto a soft surface and the runes while thinking of what you want an answer for. Oh, and the runes. Okay. Past situation, present situation, or future situation. And the runes that stand out the most to you is your answer. Number
Isn't
3.
there sort of like a runes cloth, and if you toss them, you would toss all of them, and the ones that were within the circle is the ones you would read?
Yes, hold on just a minute. I'm so sorry. 1 minute. I'm so sorry. One of my clients, I don't know if you guys could hear my phone going off incessantly, and I'm like, that is so rude. Ugh. I'm turning this on silent. Stop it. Okay. What did you ask? Sorry, Andrea.
Um, isn't there like a cloth for runes where if you toss
Yes.
them, I don't know, you toss all of them at one time, but they would go, if they were in a circle that's on the cloth, that they were the ones that you would read?
Yeah, so there are a bunch of different types of those cloths. There's wooden boards, but me personally, I use bones, teeth, crystals, hair, and I put them all. I'm trying to think if there's something else. And obviously my runes. And I throw them all. I have them in my, what are those shells? The incense burning shells, like the open faced ones. But I have them in my shell, and then I toss them onto the table, onto the floor, wherever I'm doing it. And if, say, a rune is near the tooth, that to me is representing physical.
You're out of the house.
Uh-oh.
You're out of the house.
Hold on, let me mute everyone.
I got you.
Ah. Let's see. Oh, there we go. There. So the bone or the tooth to me would be physical health. Whether it be, my aching back, if I, if it's something to do with my herniated disc, stuff like that. With the bone, I would look at that as the past, as a form of death, the past behind me. So it just depends on what works for you. That is something that I learned from my grandma. She always had, and I actually have her. Oh, the eagle talon. She had an eagle talon, and I have her eagle talon, and that's for the future. And so when runes are nearby them, whether they're upside down, whether they're sideways, whether they're right side up, whether they're on top of them, all of those have different meanings to me. So it just depends. Again, like I said in the last slide, there are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of ways to read them. But at the end of the day, the reality is what feels right to you and what symbolism works for you with these runes, that's what it should be. It's, you know, the runes don't have, in my opinion, they don't have as many rules and regulations and you know, laws of how to go about, you know, restrictions, how to go about reading them, how to go about understanding them, and what they are and what they mean and what they should be for you, as much as other divination tools that are out there. Some tools, some things have specific rules for specific reasons. Because you don't want to, you know, go out and do it wrong and invoke a bunch of demons and devils and scaries with runes. I have never seen or felt any form of that kind of thing, because runes to me are more of an ethereal, like extraterrestrial, ethereal. They're associated with the gods. They're associated with a higher beings, higher power, and they don't have that association with earthbound demons and devils and that kind of thing. The lowest or I guess most negative energy type would be either like the Loki energy, or in Thurisaz, the chaos and disorder. But you're talking about Thor. You're talking about the god, you know, you're talking about war and kind of self-inflicting doom, if you will. So that's my take on that's my take on do what you will. Find what works best for you, and I feel like that is the best way to read runes. But as far as the basic ones that you can just do, you know, when you're walking out the door and you're like, ooh, how is this job interview gonna go? You can put your hand in the bag, pull one out, and see what it has to say to you. And the third method would be to lay the runes out in grid and let your hand, and grid basically is just out, and then let your hand pass over the runes slowly while concentrating on what you want an answer for past situation, present situation, or future situation. And you would want to use your left hand if you are right-handed, and your right hand if you're left-handed, and you'll sense the rune that holds the answer to your question. It might take a couple sweeps, but you will feel that energy transition. And then for method 4, with your eyes closed and while in a neutral state of mind, you can draw 3 runes from the bag and line them up. The first rune is an answer to a past situation. The second one is an answer to the present, and the last one is an answer to a future situation. Andrea, yes?
Jody was first.
Oh, Jody. Get it, girl.
So, are you gonna give us, like if we were to reach in
Mm-hmm.
and we wanted to know how that job interview was gonna go,
Mm-hmm.
we pulled out Udus.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna give us something that would tell us how to interpret that? as an answer? Like, because you can, we know what the rune is and what it stands for, and okay, so that's Thor, but and he's kind of the chaos and whatever, but how do we read that to interpret it as the answer to the question we're asking? Same
Yes.
with like this spread. You're going to give us like current situation, challenges, guidance, something that would explain how that reading works, right? Oh, beautiful.
So yes, that is, so I was gonna show you this spread and then a couple of the more in-depth ones. And
Okay.
then what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back to this spread, and I'm going to pop up the it's in my pictures. I took a picture of it because it was on my phone. And I'm going to text it to myself so I can actually show you guys. But anyways, I got one that it has the kind of like a simplified terminology of what each rune means as far as like the wording goes. Like a 1 or 2 word meaning and then a sentence that describes it. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Oh, I did save it on here. Okay, hold on, let me find it. But Andrea, what was your question?
Basically, it was sort of like, what influences the outcome? When you have a question, like say, for instance, like you're looking at a new job, whether to take it or not, you go with that question and the runes come up something. Now, how you think about it is different from what comes up. What do you go with?
So that's the one thing with runes that that you have to remind yourself, and that I have to remind myself of every single time. Us as humans, when looking at, so I've always looked at the gods as, especially the Norse pagan gods, I have always seen them and looked at them as from another realm or planet, or as extraterrestrials from Asgard. They've made that clear to the people back then that that's who they were and that's what they were. And so with that being said, we are just communicating with them through energy. And we here on Earth have our own free will. And that's what, a lot of people talk about when they talk about the free will. It's easily just kind of one of those words that gets tossed around like, oh, but you have free will of mankind. And it's like, yeah, okay, but what does that mean? Like, what are you talking about? What does that mean? To me, that means that we are here. They are not here. They're in their own realm right now. And so energetically, they can give us signs, symbols, ways to foresee what's about to happen or what could happen if we continue with our own free will on the path that we are continuing on, or if we continue believing or thinking what we are. That's where the manifestation comes in. That's where manifesting comes in. Suddenly these things start happening that you have been quote unquote manifesting. That is part of of the runes story and what they can provide to you. They will give you all of the, here is what it is, here is where you are, and here is where you could be. Here is where you could be in a positive way. Here is where you could be in a negative way. And this right here is up to you to decide what you want to do. And we will tell you the messages you need in order to get to that next point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of. It's sort of like I'm not skeptical, but I have to have the proof. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, say I come up with a rule that says, okay, take the job. I put my faith in that,
Well,
or
and see
do I
that,
go with like I don't know, or I won't get it.
right. So that's the part where your intuition and everything that we had talked about in my psychic abilities classes, as well as the last class, the last runes class, pretty much every class that I've taught, I always try to focus on and push, kind of ingrain in your head that the first step for anything to work in your life, anything, is to retrain yourself, reteach yourself to listen to your intuition, to set aside your ego, your self-image, your insecurities, your out of control confidence, all the in between, or all the far out things, parts of you, and bring forth just that knowing and believing in these powers, in these abilities, in the fact that these will work. It all comes down to your belief and how hard you want to put yourself forth in allowing it. Because that is, I mean, when you're talking about, should I leave my job that I've been at for 20 years and jump off into the deep end and go and, apply for this random job that is my dream job, but I have no quote unquote, no chance of getting just because a rune tells me so? I would say there needs to be a few more. I personally would do a few more rune pulls before jumping off of that cliff. I would ask a whole lot more questions. But also I would most definitely step into it with the mindset of, okay, so I am at this point where I've already made my decision. Even if I haven't made that decision, I always jump into that situation when talking with my guides and with the gods, and with through my runes. I always have this, I always put my mind at a point where it's already happening. I'm already at that point right there where tomorrow I'm going to go and take that job. Even if I'm not, I'm programming, I'm presetting my mind into believing that as part of the manifestation process, but also as a means, as a way of talking to my guides, like, what now? What is the plan now? What do I need to do now? Because I've already jumped off the ship now I need to know what I need to do to stay afloat. So that's kind of when it comes down to believing in it and not, trying not to be skeptical. That is all part of the process. Everybody's going to be skeptical about something new and something exciting, but also scary. And that's something that with the runes, I have always, my whole life, I have used them as a guidance tool, as a tool to know what is going to happen that day. Or I guess if my best friend is really talking to my boyfriend, or little stupid things back when I was a kid, I would use my runes for. And so I have that relationship with them, where I trust them fully, and every time they give me the answers, whether I like it or not, they give me the answers that I'm seeking. Sometimes I read them wrong, and I read them the way that my ego, that I want to read them. And it turns out flipping me on my ass, and I'm upside down, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that's what you meant. And I'm like, what do I do now? But that's part of the learning process. That's life, so yeah, it's definitely, you're not going to be ready to go out and read, a bunch of people's runes, or even your own runes in these next slides that I have, like the runic cross and the runic V, and there's a 9 grid, the 7 rune cast. These are all divination tools that are new. I don't use these. I just use, I throw them out. I call it a pull, and I throw them out with all of my creepy bones and teeth and read them the way that I perceive them. But you can use these kind of things. And this is the Elder Futhurk layout that I was talking about, that has them in all different areas. And can you guys see that? It's kind of
Yes.
small. But yeah, you can see it says achieve physical health and inner strength, achieve wisdom or inspiration, emotional status, friends and relationships this year. Just a whole lot of information on that one. But with that being said, we are going to just do a 3 rune pull, and let me grab this open, and why won't it let me open the document? All right, I'm just gonna do it right here. There. There. All right, so this is what I was talking about when I said I had it here. Let's see. Yeah, we'll go with this. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, with the runes that you guys brought, and Tanya, I've got my matching bag that you have. If you want to get in a position where you are facing north, and oh, Jody, It's waiting for you, my love. If you guys want to get in a position that is facing north and reflect, thank, ask the gods to help you in whatever question you want to ask. And it can be, you don't even have to ask a question. You can just tell them, you know, please show me what I did right in the past, where I'm at now, and where, you know, where I'm headed in the future. It can be as simple as that. Or if there's a specific question, you can just do a one rune pull if you're more comfortable with that. But hold on, let me trying to find all of your, I need to see all your faces. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh God. Oh God.
There you are down there.
Oh no. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh God. Okay.
Yeah.
I know, but I can't find you guys. I can't find you guys. But anyways, so oh, there we go. Okay. So if you want to grab 3 out of there, yeah. And then this spread is perfect for illuminating any challenges that are affecting you moving forward in life. In this spread, you are able to ask a question to the runes about something you are concerned with right now. You can pick 3 runes from your pouch and lay them vertically on the table or the cloth or the floor, wherever, with the first rune at the top. The first rune pulled reflects your current situation. The second one highlights or will highlight any challenges that are affecting your current situation. And the third will provide you with guidance and action. And I'll go through that last part again once we pull them.
Jordy, I went looking for the runes I had and I couldn't find them.
That's okay.
So I got I went through Amazon and I just picked out a set that I'd like to get, and it's similar. It's Aventurine.
Oh,
So it'll be a few days before I get them. So I'm gonna just follow along.
no worries. What if I do it for you?
Can
I
you
do
do
mine
that?
for you?
Can you do that? I didn't know somebody else could do
Heck
that.
yeah, of course I can.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna if you can ask your guides and the gods and your higher self to allow me to work with your energy, that would be awesome.
I've done that.
Ooh, there's one. Isa.
Hey, sweetie.
Hmm. 2, okay. That one just fell back in. All right. The last one, I went to grab it and I had a solid grip on it and it just went bleep. It went right back in like, no,
Not today.
this isn't for her. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm like, oh shit, I'm sorry.
I was talking to my guides at that time.
Oh, okay. So they were sitting there going,
We're not
do
done.
do we talk about this? Do we not talk about this? All right, so back to it. Let me get my Microsoft Word back up.
No, we need the,
Are you guys ready? Good. Okay, why don't you guys, I want to know what yours were. So the first one would be the past. Second one is the present, and then third one is the future.
I,
You gotta move the one
Oh.
thing so we can see the. There, thank you. So I'm like, I don't know what these ones are called.
Oh, and see, this one is totally different than what I just literally said to you. So this spread, the 1 is current situation, 2 challenges, and 3 guidance. And it's not past, present, and future. So that's cute. Disregard everything, this little creepy face.
I was just looking for what the name of them were.
Did you find it? Or can you see this one?
yes, that's the
Okay.
one.
Do you see them?
My Zoom is fucked up.
Just show me what one. Well, it's it's all fuzzy. I can show you guys
So I
mine.
got
Okay, go ahead.
it's hard to see the letters on the picture, but I got Ingus. Is that how that's said? Yeah.
Is that
Fertility,
better?
growth, common sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ingus, and then that was, oh no, wait, that was the middle one. And then I got like the X.
That one is Gibo.
The
Gabo.
X.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see that on here though.
It's right. Can you
Oh,
see?
right there. Like right in front of my face. Hello.
You're fine.
Couldn't have even gotten. I'm like, where is it? I'm blind. And then I got
Exports the spot.
Raidho.
Raido, yes. So usually, and these aren't in order. There he is.
So
this guy.
my past would have been Gabo.
Okay.
My present would be Ingus. Am I saying these right, or am I like totally?
Yeah.
Where's
Nope, you're
it?
doing
Where's
great.
that one?
And then my future would be Reidho.
Wow, that's crazy. Gable being marriage, and Ingus being growth, and
I don't see the second one. I don't know where it is.
oh,
English. Okay.
Ingus. It's and you actually, Andrea, you got Ingus as well. And then Raido as a journey and a destiny, and a source of traveling to that destiny. So that is gnarly. Wow, that's awesome. I love it. And going more in depth into more specific
Bottom.
factors. Oh, what's that?
Yes. My computer has made you 3 inches by 2 inches, like the whole Zoom picture. So I cannot
That's
see.
amazing.
That's not the first word that comes to my mind. I can't seem to like get it bigger or be able to see it, but the one that I pulled is below the screen. It's the P looking one.
Unjo?
Wonjo.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Because that's my future.
Well, you've got a great future, girl. Unjo is one of the good ones. That's a goodie.
So I have the,
I'm trying to get my face off of your computer. I'm
no, I
sorry.
like it. It's a little round for me. It's a little
It's a
round
lot.
circle in the corner.
No, it's a lot.
Just trying to see,
What do you say, honey?
which one is it?
What does it look like?
Looks like hang on, I have an app. It's
Hmm.
Jira.
Yeah, this guy.
Yes, so that's my past. Jira. And then my present is the two squiggly lines that meet together. And is it
Arthro?
no Ignis, fertility, growth.
Oh, Ingus?
Yeah, that's my current.
Oh, wow. All three of you.
And then
All three of you got the Ingus. That's
and then
crazy.
my future is the P. Wahoo.
Beautiful.
Wahoo!
Woohoo!
Which is kind of where that's kind of where
You're at.
that's about where life is at right now for me, where woohoo, the future's looks gotta wear shades.
That's
Uh,
funny. That's funny that you
As soon as you
say
started saying that, that's the song played in my head.
that's a good way of remembering Wunjo is woohoo. Cause I never even thought of that. With now this, it's the one that you can hear. This one.
uh-huh.
I always have said like, oh, now this, like hardships, like, oh, okay, here we go. Now this. And so that woohoo, I'm gonna teach that from now on with the Wunjo is it's woohoo, it's success, it's happiness, it's finally feeling like
Future.
everything's falling into place. Yes. Yay. I love that. I love that. And it's interesting that all of you got Ingus.
What did I get, Jody?
You got
Oh, yes. Sorry. Getting all excited. Okay. So speaking of, so you got Isa, which is, this was in your past, which was a standstill, like a stagnant moment in your life of hold on. Bella? Was that you? Okay, I just shit my pants, so I'm gonna need to change my pants. Did you hear that? That scared the hell out of me. I literally just about shit my pants. It was like scratching, clawing on my wall right here. And I was like, okay, remember that one time when I said there's no demons and devils? I was like, I'm gonna have to say fuck that. I'm out. So Isa is the challenge. It's as you can see on here, it's a blockage, a standstill, stopping moment where you just kind of felt stagnant, like there was no movement. And then now this, now this comes in.
Yeah,
And
when you're talking about the stagnant and no movement, that sounds like my marriage.
well,
And
that was-
not knowing, not being able to be myself.
yeah. And the fact that it's now this came in.
And what is that?
That is the one that we were just speaking about. And it's the need and necessity, but this one is upside down. So it would be the hardships and delays, which it would be the holding back kind of trying to get through the hardships and trying to get through the a feeling of not so much that situation affecting you still, but at the same time, you feeling like no matter what, there's this hardship that like keeps popping up, or there's this point that keeps getting brought up, and it's like, God, why is this continuing to pop up? Why is this continuing to happen? And then, as I had said before, you've got the Ingus, and that is literally the growth and mindfulness and consciousness factor. It's a lot about the spiritual, mental side of things, and with that being in the future position on this, it just seems as though that path is obvious for all three of you guys.
That's
and
why we're here.
Exactly. And that's the part that blew my mind, is I'm like, see, like that's that part is, and it makes my heart happy, because it's just that confirmation and knowing that this is where you guys are supposed to be, and this is where I'm supposed to be, and that part right there. So with that being said,
Awesome.
heck yeah. As I said before, I have written down, or I copied and pasted a bunch of website links for you guys to, if you have more specific or in-depth questions and you want to practice with your runes, there are tons of different kinds of spreads for past marriages, answers to that, like why did it not work, or what is it that I need to work on in my life, or why do I continue to not have money, or why do I continue to fight with my child. There are spreads on those for literally everything. I mean, it's crazy. But with that being said, I think those and this way of just doing one at a time or three at a time will help you guys get used to and learn the runes and their small, one or two, or I guess 4 word meanings, and you can look more in depth in them and see the meanings that come to you, and in with your intuition and how you feel with them as well. But using those spreads, I think, would be really, really beneficial before you just throw out some runes with some teeth and bones and hair and try to figure out what it's telling you. But we'll get there. We will get there. And I'll send all of you guys a lock of my hair if that's what we're if that's what we're looking for. I'm just kidding, I won't.
It's interesting, like what you use, and from what I gather, I had seen a class where it was a Chinese fellow, and they call it throwing the bones.
Yes. So they used to
Chicken bones.
before runes, and it wasn't before runes, it was, they consider it a part of the history of runes, but they called them sticks and twigs, or sticks and branches, and that people would get little sticks this big and carve little runes, basically, little dots and lines and dashes that had different meanings, and they would throw the sticks. And it was the exact same concept. And that right there is why I personally believe that these gods are not just these mythical creatures that we made up as, you know, human beings. We're talking fucking Asia all the way up to Northern Germany and Sweden and the Netherlands and Norway, and all the way down to South America and Peru. All of them did the exact same types of divination work, communication, tactics, and means of learning how to create these languages and these forms to use for answers from the gods. And so that's a whole other topic, but that's the part that it's like, for me, I've always said this, I don't believe in coincidences, and that is definitely not one of them. I don't believe that that's a coincidence. I believe they were all learning from the same sources, you know?
Could have been.
But let me,
Which
Okay.
rune was it that was jumping out of your hand?
what's that?
Which rune was it that was jumping out of your hand?
I don't know. It was in the
You-
bag. It was telling me that was not for you.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I went to grab it and I had a solid grasp on it. Like I had it in my hand and it was like, whoop, it like fell out of my hand. And I was like, okay, let's try again. We'll try again. Something else.
Neat.
Yeah, that definitely was not for you. But let me stop the recording. Oh.